The gleaming spires of outpost Zenith pierced the violet sky of Kepler 186f, their crystalline surfaces reflecting the light of twin moons. Dr. Elena Reyes stood at the viewport of the medical facility's reception area, her dark eyes taking in the alien landscape before her. After 6 months in cryosleep, she still couldn't quite believe she was the first human physician assigned to this remote outpost. The door behind her whispered open, and Chief Medical Officer Nixthar entered, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with what Elena had learned to recognize as skepticism. The Arcturian's tall, willowy frame towered over her as he approached, all 4 of his eyes fixed intently on the datapad in his hands. "Your credentials are unusual, Dr. Reyes," he said, his translator converting the clicking sounds of his native language into standard English. "Earth medical practices seem primitive compared to our automated healing chambers." Elena smiled, used to this reaction. "Sometimes the old ways have their merits, Chief Nixthar. Human bodies are remarkably adaptable, and our medical techniques have evolved to match that adaptability." Before Nixthar could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. The emergency communication system crackled to life, multiple casualties incoming. Mining accident in Sector 7. The medical bay erupted into controlled chaos as the Arcturian medical team mobilized. Elena watched in fascination as they activated their automated systems, holographic displays filling the air with patient data. But something caught her attention, the way they moved, the rigidity in their actions. They were following protocols, yes, but there was a lack of flexibility in their approach. The first patients arrived through the quantum transport pad, 3 Arcturians and 2 Proximans, their crystalline bodies cracked and leaking vital fluids. The medical team immediately began connecting them to the automated healing chambers, but Elena's attention was drawn to a figure still on the transport pad, a massive creature that looked like a cross between an earth gorilla and a mantis, its exoskeleton crushed on one side. "Leave the Craxian," one of the medical staff said. "Their physiology is too complex for our systems. We cannot help." Elena stepped forward, her voice firm. "We can help. Their cellular structure isn't that different from human muscle tissue. I've studied xenobiology extensively." Nixthar turned all 4 eyes toward her. "This is not a human hospital, Dr. Reyes. Our protocols—" "Your protocols might be perfect for standard cases," Elena interrupted, already moving toward the injured Craxian. "But sometimes we need to think beyond protocols." She pulled out her personal medical scanner, a modified version that could handle multiple species' anatomies. "I need a sterile field and basic surgical tools. Now." The authority in her voice made even Nixthar pause. After a moment's hesitation, he nodded to his staff. Elena knelt beside the massive creature, noting the labored breathing and the way its compound eyes tracked her movements. She placed a gentle hand on its least injured arm, speaking softly. "I'm Dr. Reyes. I'm going to help you, but I need you to trust me." The Craxian's mandibles clicked weakly, but it remained still as she began her examination. For the next 4 hours, Elena worked tirelessly, using a combination of traditional surgical techniques and the advanced tools available in the facility. She showed the Arcturian medical team how to adapt their equipment for non-standard procedures, explaining each step as she worked to stabilize the Craxian's unique circulatory system. When she finally stepped back, exhausted but satisfied, the creature's readings had stabilized. The Arcturian medical team stood in silence, their bioluminescent markings pulsing with what Elena now recognized as amazement. Nixthar approached her, his usual rigid posture slightly relaxed. "Your methods are unorthodox, Dr. Reyes. But effective. Perhaps there is something to be said for human adaptability after all." Elena wiped her brow, offering a tired smile. "Medicine isn't just about following protocols, Chief Nixthar. It's about understanding that every patient is unique, every case different. Sometimes the best solution is the one we haven't tried yet." As she watched the medical team tending to the recovering Craxian, Elena felt a spark of hope. This was why she had traveled across 5 galaxies to reach Outpost Zenith. Not just to practice medicine, but to bridge the gap between different species, to show that human compassion and ingenuity could work alongside alien technology to save lives. The Craxian's compound eyes focused on her, its mandibles clicking in what her translator identified as gratitude. Elena nodded in acknowledgement, knowing that this was just the beginning. She had proven herself today, but tomorrow would bring new challenges, new patients, and new opportunities to show that human medical expertise had a place among the stars. 3 weeks after the mining accident, Dr. Elena Reyes found herself facing an even greater challenge. The emergency alert system blared through Outpost Zenith's medical facility, but this time it wasn't for a typical accident. A research vessel had returned from the unexplored regions of the Kepler system with something unprecedented. Through the quantum transport pad materialized a creature that defied description. It resembled a living aurora borealis, its translucent body rippling with waves of bioluminescence, but contained within a physical form that seemed to constantly shift between solid and gaseous states. More alarming were the dark patches spreading across its ethereal surface, clear signs of some kind of cellular degradation. Dr. Zixval, one of the younger Arcturian physicians who had shown the most interest in Elena's methods, rushed to her side. The research team encountered it in the upper atmosphere of Kepler 186H. They believe it's sentient, but our scanners can't even determine its basic biological functions. Elena approached the containment field where the creature hovered, its movements growing increasingly erratic. The nearby monitors displayed nothing but error messages, their advanced alien technology completely baffled by this new life form. "Have you tried communicating with it?" Elena asked, studying the pattern of light pulses moving through the creature's body. "Our universal translators can't detect any recognizable language patterns," Chief Nixthar said, joining them. "And our medical systems." He gestured at the useless equipment surrounding them. Elena noticed something about the light patterns. They weren't random, they followed a rhythm, almost like. "It's in pain," she said suddenly. "Look at the pulses, they're similar to neural firing patterns in Earth's deep-sea bioluminescent creatures." The creature's form contracted sharply, more dark patches appearing across its surface. Elena turned to the medical team. "We need to think differently. This isn't about healing technology or standard procedures. This is about understanding life itself." She pulled out her personal tablet, quickly bringing up files from Earth's marine biology archives. "On Earth, we have creatures that communicate through light patterns. If we combine that knowledge with your advanced scanning technology." For the next several hours, Elena worked with Dr. Zixval to modify their medical scanners, incorporating principles from Earth's marine biology. They created a new diagnostic approach that could detect the subtle energy patterns flowing through the creature's unusual form. There, Elena pointed to a holographic display showing the modified readings. "Those dark patches aren't decay, they're more like knots in an energy flow. Something's blocking its natural energy circulation. But how do we treat something we can barely understand?" Dr. Zixval asked, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with concern. Elena studied the readings carefully. Sometimes the best treatment is to help the body heal itself. Look at how it responds to different energy frequencies. She adjusted the containment field settings, matching them to the creature's natural bioluminescent rhythm. The effect was immediate. The creature's erratic movements began to calm, its light pulses synchronizing with the modified field. Elena carefully adjusted the frequencies, creating a harmonic resonance that seemed to soothe the being. "It's like acupuncture," she explained to the fascinated alien medical team. "We're not forcing healing, we're helping restore its natural balance." Over the next few hours, the dark patches slowly began to fade. The creature's form became more stable, its light patterns stronger and more regular. The entire medical team watched in amazement as it recovered, its bioluminescence now displaying complex patterns that their modified scanners identified as expressions of relief. Chief Nixthar approached Elena, his usual stoic demeanor softened by what seemed to be genuine admiration. "You've done the impossible twice now, Dr. Reyes. How do you continue to find solutions where our advanced technology fails?" Elena smiled, watching as the creature began to interact with its environment, its light patterns expressing curiosity rather than distress. "It's not about having the most advanced technology," she said. "It's about being willing to learn from every form of life we encounter. Human medicine evolved from studying nature itself, something your automated systems might have forgotten." The creature pulsed with a pattern they now recognized as contentment, its recovered form casting beautiful lights across the medical bay. Dr. Zixval was already documenting the new treatment protocols, combining Elena's Earth-based knowledge with their advanced technology. "Perhaps," Nixthar said thoughtfully, "there is much our peoples can learn from each other. Your human perspective brings something our technology alone cannot provide." Elena nodded, watching as the creature began to communicate with them through its light patterns, sharing its own knowledge. In helping this unique being, they had broken down more than just medical barriers, they had opened a new chapter in interspecies cooperation. As she began documenting the case for both Earth's medical archives and the outpost's records, Elena realized that this was exactly why humanity needed to be out among the stars. Not just to explore, but to share their unique perspective, their ability to think beyond conventional boundaries, and their deep understanding that healing was about more than just fixing what was broken, it was about connecting with life in all its forms. The success with the ethereal being had transformed the atmosphere at Outpost Zenith's medical facility. Where once there had been skepticism of human medical practices, now there was curiosity. Elena Reyes found herself working alongside her alien colleagues in ways she hadn't thought possible just months ago. One morning, as she reviewed patient files with Dr. Zixval, an urgent transmission came through from a distant mining colony. A group of Dendrian colonists had fallen ill with a mysterious ailment that their automated medical systems couldn't identify. "Dendrians rarely get sick," Zixval explained, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with worry. "Their crystalline biology makes them nearly immune to most diseases." The holographic display showed footage of the affected Dendrians. Their usually translucent crystal-like bodies had become clouded, with web-like patterns spreading across their surfaces. More concerning was how the pattern seemed to be growing, spreading from one Dendrian to another through simple proximity. "It's behaving like a fungal infection," Elena observed, remembering similar patterns she'd seen in specialized medical training. "But obviously adapted to their crystalline biology." Chief Nixthar joined them, his four eyes focused intently on the display. "The mining colony's automated systems have failed to produce any effective treatment. They're requesting immediate assistance." Elena studied the progression patterns carefully. "On Earth, we've dealt with similar spreading patterns in crystal structures, not in living beings, but in synthetic crystal growth. What if this is something similar?" She pulled up archived research from Earth's crystal engineering studies, particularly those dealing with contamination control in semiconductor manufacturing. The parallels were striking. "Look here," she pointed to the comparison displays. "The spread pattern is almost identical to how crystal defects propagate in silicon wafers. If we adapt those containment principles," Dr. Zixval caught on quickly, "we could modify our healing chambers to emit targeted energy patterns that disrupt the spread." His markings pulsed with excitement. For the next several hours, Elena worked with the alien medical team to develop a new treatment protocol. They combined Earth's crystal engineering principles with the advanced energy manipulation capabilities of the alien healing chambers. The result was something entirely new, a hybrid treatment that could target the infection without damaging the Dendrian's natural crystalline structure. The mining colony implemented their modified protocol, and within hours, the first signs of improvement appeared. The cloudy patterns began to recede, and the spread between individuals stopped. But Elena wasn't satisfied with just treating the symptoms. "We need to understand how this started," she insisted. "Prevention is just as important as treatment." Working with geological data from the mining colony, they discovered that the Dendrians had recently opened a new crystal vein containing ancient geological formations. These formations harbored dormant crystal-based organisms that had evolved to infiltrate and alter crystalline structures, organisms that had found the Dendrians' biology to be a perfect host. Elena helped develop new safety protocols for the mining operations, combining human experience in contamination control with alien technological capabilities. The result was a comprehensive system that would protect workers while allowing mining to continue safely. As they documented their findings, Chief Nixthar approached Elena with an unusual request. The Galactic Medical Council has expressed interest in establishing a permanent collaboration program between human and alien medical practitioners. They believe your perspective could be valuable across multiple systems. Elena felt a surge of pride, not just for herself but for humanity. "We've barely scratched the surface of what we can learn from each other," she said. "Every challenge we face together proves that." Dar. Zixval, who had become something of a bridge between human and alien medical approaches, added, "Your human ability to draw connections between seemingly unrelated fields, crystal engineering and medical treatment, marine biology and energy beings, it's something our automated systems could never replicate." The medical bay's holographic displays showed the recovery progress of the Dendrian miners, their crystalline bodies returning to their natural, pristine state. But more importantly, they showed the successful integration of human and alien medical knowledge, a partnership that was proving more valuable with each passing day. Elena looked around at her alien colleagues, remembering the skepticism she'd faced when she first arrived. Now, those same beings looked to her not just as an equal, but as someone who brought unique and valuable perspectives to their advanced medical practice. "We all have something to teach each other," she said, watching as the latest batch of test results confirmed their treatment success. "That's what makes medicine so extraordinary. It's never about just one way of doing things. It's about finding the best way to help, no matter where that knowledge comes from." The outpost's communication system chimed with another incoming call for assistance. Elena smiled, knowing that whatever challenge awaited them, they would face it together, combining the best of human ingenuity with alien technology. The barriers between their species were falling, one medical miracle at a time. The warning came without fanfare, a simple alert on the medical facility's communication system. A research station on Kepler 186f's southern continent had gone dark. Within hours, similar reports began flooding in from surrounding settlements. Dar. Elena Reyes stood with Chief Nixthar and Dr. Zixval as they reviewed the incoming data. "The symptoms are unusual," Zixval said, his bioluminescent markings pulsing erratically. "Multiple species affected simultaneously, but manifesting differently in each." The holographic displays showed footage from the affected areas. Arcturians were losing their bioluminescence, their normally glowing veins turning dark and lifeless. Dendrians were developing fracture patterns across their crystalline forms. Even the massive Craxians were showing signs of distress, their exoskeletons becoming brittle and discolored. "It's spreading faster than our quarantine protocols can contain," Nixthar announced, all four of his eyes fixed on the latest transmission. "And our automated systems can't identify the pathogen." Elena studied the data, her mind racing. "Are there any human settlements in the affected areas?" 3 research outposts, Zixval confirmed. But strangely, humans seem to be the least affected. They're reporting mild symptoms at most, slight fever, fatigue, nothing severe. That caught Elena's attention. She pulled up the human medical reports alongside the alien cases. "This pattern, it reminds me of something we studied in xenobiology training. There was a case on Mars where a native microorganism began affecting both human and alien tissue, but human immune systems adapted more quickly. She began cross-referencing the data with Earth's medical archives. Look at this, the way it's affecting different species. It's not just attacking biological systems, it's somehow interfacing with them, almost like it's trying to communicate, Nixthar finished, his markings pulsing with sudden understanding. But that's impossible. Pathogens don't communicate. Maybe not usually, Elena said, but what if this one evolved to do exactly that? The southern continent has some of the oldest known ruins on this planet. What if something was dormant there, waiting for the right conditions? The theory was radical, but as they analyzed more data, it began to make sense. The pathogen wasn't just causing damage, it was attempting to establish connections between different biological systems, but failing catastrophically in most cases. Human immune systems are more adaptable, Elena explained. We've evolved to handle a wider range of biological challenges. That's why we're experiencing milder symptoms, our bodies are actually managing to communicate back. The realization sparked a new approach to treatment. Working together, Elena and the alien medical team began developing a therapy that didn't try to eliminate the pathogen, but rather to help different species' biological systems properly interface with it. They used modified human antibodies as a template, creating a bridge between the pathogen's attempt at communication and each species' unique biology. The treatment was experimental, dangerous even, but with the infection spreading rapidly, they had no choice but to act. The first trials were conducted under Elena's direct supervision. She insisted on being present for each treatment, monitoring how different species responded. Slowly, remarkably, it began to work. The Arcturians' bioluminescence returned, but with new patterns that seemed to pulse in rhythm with their neural activity. The Dendrians' fractures healed, leaving behind intricate designs that enhanced rather than compromised their structure. It's not just healing them, Dr. Zixval observed in amazement. It's improving them. Their biological systems are functioning more efficiently than before. Elena nodded, watching as a treated Craxian's exoskeleton regained its strength, now showing subtle bioluminescent patterns similar to the Arcturians. The pathogen wasn't trying to harm, it was trying to enhance. We just needed to help it speak the right biological language. The crisis became a breakthrough. As more patients were treated, they began to understand that the pathogen was actually an ancient biological technology, one that had evolved alongside the planet's original inhabitants. It had awakened when new species began settling the planet, attempting to help them adapt to the environment as it had done millennia ago. Chief Nixthar approached Elena as they reviewed the latest recovery data. Your human perspective saved us again, Dr. Reyes. Our automated systems would never have considered communication with a pathogen. Sometimes the most dangerous thing can become the most beneficial, Elena replied, if we're willing to understand it rather than just fight it. That's something humans learned the hard way through our own medical history. As the treatment spread across the affected regions, the pandemic transformed into something unprecedented, a controlled biological enhancement that helped various species better adapt to their adopted world. The medical facility became a center for studying this new phenomenon, with Elena and her alien colleagues working to understand the full implications of their discovery. What had started as a crisis had become a revolution in interspecies medicine, proving once again that the combination of human adaptability and alien technology could achieve things neither civilization could have managed alone. 1 year after the crisis that had nearly devastated Kepler 186f, Outpost Zenith's medical facility had transformed beyond recognition. What had once been a sterile environment dominated by automated systems now buzzed with life and innovation. Dar. Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck, watching as a diverse group of medical practitioners, human and alien alike, moved through the facility's newly expanded wings. The integration of the ancient biological technology they discovered during the pandemic had led to unprecedented advances in medical science. The main treatment chamber now featured a hybrid system that combined traditional healing methods from Earth with advanced alien technology and the adaptive capabilities they'd learned from the pathogen. Dr. Reyes, called a familiar voice. Elena turned to see Dr. Zixval approaching, his bioluminescent patterns showing the enhanced neural connectivity that had become common among Arcturians after the crisis. The first graduates of the interspecies medical program are ready for their certification ceremony. Elena smiled, remembering how far they'd come. The program had been her idea, a way to formally combine human medical knowledge with alien technological expertise. It had started small, just a few curious practitioners, but had quickly grown into something revolutionary. In the main auditorium, 20 students of various species sat together. Among them was a young human doctor named Marcus Chen, sitting beside a dendrian whose crystalline form sparkled with the improved patterns they developed. Next to them, a Craxian medical technician's enhanced exoskeleton gleamed with subtle bioluminescent tracery. Chief Nixthar stood at the podium, all four of his eyes bright with pride. When Dr. Reyes first arrived at our facility, many of us questioned the value of incorporating human medical practices into our advanced systems. Today, we stand as proof that the greatest advances come not from technology alone, but from the combination of different perspectives, different approaches, and different ways of understanding life itself. Elena watched as each graduate received their certification, a new type of medical license that authorized them to practice across species boundaries. Each had learned not just the technical aspects of interspecies medicine, but the human approach to healing, the importance of adaptation, improvisation, and seeing the patient as more than just a collection of symptoms. After the ceremony, Elena found herself in her office, surrounded by mementos of the past year's achievements. A holographic display showed the latest data from their ongoing research into the biological technology they discovered. What had started as a crisis had led to breakthroughs in cellular regeneration, neural enhancement, and interspecies biological compatibility. A knock at her door revealed Marcus Chen, still holding his new certification. Dr. Reyes, I wanted to thank you. Not just for the program, but for showing us that being human isn't a limitation, it's an advantage. Elena nodded, understanding exactly what he meant. Our greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt, to look at problems differently, and to find connections others might miss. We may not have the most advanced technology, but we have something just as valuable, the courage to try new approaches. The conversation was interrupted by an urgent call. A deep space exploration vessel had encountered an unknown life form, one that defied their standard classification systems. They were requesting assistance from the new interspecies medical team. Elena gathered her team, human doctors with their intuitive problem-solving skills, Arcturian specialists with their advanced diagnostic capabilities, dendrian crystallographers who could analyze complex patterns, and Craxian technicians whose enhanced strength and precision made them invaluable in critical situations. As they prepared for their mission, Elena realized that this was exactly what she had hoped for when she first arrived at Outpost Zenith. They weren't just practicing medicine anymore. They were pushing the boundaries of what was possible when different species worked together, each contributing their unique strengths to a greater whole. Chief Nixthar joined her as they boarded the response vessel. You've created something remarkable here, Dr. Reyes. A legacy that will continue long after we're gone. Elena watched as her diverse team worked together, seamlessly combining human intuition with alien technology. We all created this together, she replied. We just needed to learn how to see past our differences and recognize the strength in our diversity. As their ship prepared for departure, Elena looked back at Outpost Zenith, now a shining beacon of interspecies cooperation and medical innovation. What had started with one human doctor facing skepticism and doubt had grown into a movement that was changing the face of medicine across the galaxy. The future held countless new challenges, unknown species, and medical mysteries waiting to be solved. But now they faced these challenges not as separate species with their own limitations, but as a unified force that combined the best of human adaptability with the most advanced alien technology. Together, they were ready to push the boundaries of healing beyond anything either civilization had imagined possible.